Before talking about 2026, we need to face what 2025 really was. It wasn't the year of certainty. It wasn't the year of easy answers. And it definitely wasn't the year the market became easy. 2025 was the year noise became constant. News every day, narratives changing every week. Emotions tested all the time. A lot of people entered expecting fast money. A lot of people left tired, confused, and frustrated. But here's the part almost no one noticed. 2025 wasn't a year to get rich. It was a year to learn how the game actually works. While some people looked only at price, others started to see something deeper: structure, incentives, time, patience. And that changes everything. Because the market wasn't asking, how much do you want to make? It was asking something else. Can you stay when the noise doesn't stop? Those who understood that came out of 2025 different, not more excited, more lucid, not more confident, more aware. And that's exactly why the transition from 2025 to 2026 matters so much. Not as a calendar flip, but as a mental shift. The question now isn't what will go up in 2026. The question is this: what did 2025 already teach you that you're still ignoring? If 2025 taught one thing right away, it's that attention became the most expensive asset in the market. Not because opportunities disappeared, but because distraction exploded. Anyone who spent the year reacting to headlines, 2 tweets to 5-minute candles, lived exhausted. And exhausted people don't make good decisions. Meanwhile, a smaller part of the market did the opposite. They didn't become more informed. They became more selective. Fewer charts open, fewer can't-miss opportunities. Less urgency. They understood something simple and uncomfortable. The market doesn't punish lack of speed. It punishes lack of clarity. 2025 was the year many people realized that knowing everything doesn't mean understanding anything. You could follow every piece of news and still have no idea what to do. And you could ignore almost everything and still make better decisions. Because the real game wasn't happening on the screen. It was happening in the mind. The people who handled 2025 best weren't the most aggressive. They were the ones who learned how to turn off the noise without turning off their thinking. And that leads directly to the first lesson 2025 leaves for 2026. You don't win by reacting faster. You win by reacting less. Once you understand that, the way you look at risk, time, and position starts to change. That's where the conversation leaves the noise and enters what actually matters. Another thing 2025 made very clear is that this market is still a patience test disguised as technology. Many people entered expecting speed, fast results, immediate confirmation. Instead, the year was ruthless with those who confused potential with timing. And this isn't new. From the earliest cycles, the most consistent voices in this space have repeated the same idea, using different words. Money moves from the impatient to the patient. Some call it conviction, others call it long-term vision. At its core, it's simpler than that: the ability to endure time. 2025 demonstrated this almost perfectly. Those who tried to anticipate everything entered too early, exited too early, overtraded. Those who accepted that good assets go through boring, slow, even frustrating phases achieved something rare. They stayed still, when staying still was the correct decision. And that might be the most counterintuitive lesson of the year. In crypto, doing nothing is often an active strategy. That requires maturity. It requires accepting that the market doesn't exist to entertain you. It exists to test your discipline. Once you cross that mental line, something changes. You stop hunting for the next event and start structuring position, time, and risk. This is where 2025 quietly delivers a lesson to 2026. The game doesn't speed up for those in a hurry. It rewards those who can sustain the wait. And that connects directly to the next layer of this reflection. What 2025 revealed about conviction, narrative, and survival. When the market becomes genuinely uncomfortable, If 2025 taught one thing clearly, it was the brutal difference between conviction and narrative. Narrative is comfortable. It comes pre-packaged, makes noise, creates a sense of belonging. When everything is going up, everyone looks convinced. Conviction is different. It only shows up when the market removes the stage, when the timeline goes quiet, and when holding your position starts to feel uncomfortable. In 2025, this became impossible to ignore. Projects with beautiful stories but weak internal structure disappeared quietly, not because the market was cruel, but because time demands coherence. At the same time, assets with clear fundamentals, even while drifting through boring, sideways, forgotten months, continued to be treated as infrastructure, not bets. And that changes everything. Because narrative reacts to market mood. Conviction answers a different question. Does this still make sense if I turn off the chart? Those who could honestly answer yes stopped justifying every fluctuation, stopped living at the mercy of the feeds, stopped seeking external validation. 2025 was the year many people realized, too late, that following a thesis you don't understand is the same as having no thesis at all. And this is where 2026 begins to take shape. The next year is unlikely to reward those who speak the loudest, but those who understood early, where they are placing their time, capital, and attention. The market isn't getting easier, it's getting more demanding. And that's not a problem. It's maturity. Because when the noise fades, only what can survive silence remains. Looking back at 2025, one thing becomes clear. The crypto market was never just about price. It was about maturity. Protocols broke expectations. Easy narratives died quickly. Those who survived weren't the fastest. They were the ones who understood better. Cryptocurrencies stopped being distant promises and started behaving like real infrastructure, with flaws, adjustments, cycles, and learning. And that's what 2026 inherits. A market less naive, less noisy, but far more decisive. Because the real turning point isn't the next bull market. It's the silent reorganization of money, time, and trust. In the end, the most honest question isn't what will go up. It's what still makes sense to exist. When the hype fades, the chart goes dark and only structure remains. That's where cryptocurrencies reveal their true role. If this video helped you see 2025 more clearly, hit like and subscribe to the channel. Here we don't chase hype. We observe patterns before they become consensus. And to close, I want to hear from you. Which cryptocurrency did you accumulate the most in 2025? And which one still makes sense for you to carry into 2026? Leave it in the comments. Because in the end, quiet choices say far more than any loud prediction.